Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It's King Dawa. I'm coming at you guys today with a video on Godlogic's Butler getting belted. Pretty much to give you guys a little bit of background, Life GL was trying to make the claim that the Quran is criticizing events that never happened. They're necessarily forgeries. He made this claim because of chapter 2, 102 to 103 of the Quran, where it talks about the time of Solomon and the demons doing magic. And he's saying that this is a story which is reflected in a non-canonical book of the Testament of Solomon, meaning that the Quranic author is imposing an idea onto a biblical figure which has no basis in reality. As Christians do, and these Salam al-Masih apologists always like to assume, he tried to make it seem as though his biblical canon is the authority on all traditions relating to the prophets, relating to the Old Testament figures, and the Jewish halaqaic and midrashic literature has absolutely no basis in reality. And their justification for that is, well, pretty much just because they think so. We briefly went over Josephus's mentioning of this story found within his Antiquities of the Jews, talking about their beliefs regarding different figures and regarding different historical events which was carried over in their oral tradition, and it was later written down into the Talmud and the Testament of Solomon as well. Pretty much just watch this conversation of Life GL being an absolute hypocrite, not knowing how to justify any of his dogmas historically, not having any real basis to make the claims that he does against the Quran, turning into an atheist, being a hypocrite, and not knowing what a contradiction is, and then getting corrected by a Jew at the end of the video. Alright guys, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and inshallah we will be speaking soon. I've asked him this question 4 times, and he hasn't answered. Samurai, can you make sure he answers? Can he answer the question? Is this oral Torah tradition considered dogma for the Jays? Is it found within the oral Torah, yes or no?
I already agreed with you that people created a fake story about Solomon. My contention is not the fact that people made up the story. I understand that. When you make up a story, it can be believed by some people that pass down that legend. This is the reason why you find it in Jewish material. The problem is that the story is fake. So if people believe a legend, are you saying that it is now true? And your prophet is refuting a legend by also still trying to tell you what happened that day? You're not tracking. So yes, there was some people who assumed that this was true, but it is not, because it's a made-up story about Solomon. That answers your question. The answer to your question is yes, but just because it appears in dogma doesn't mean that it's true.
Okay, perfect. That's all I needed. All right, thank you. All right, so he said, look, the story is considered oral Torah. He agreed to that. So the prophet, regardless of Life's belief, is contending what they consider a Torah. All right, no problem. Now, Life, I want to address your second claim. You said that this story is necessarily a legend. It's necessarily a fabrication which is attributed to Solomon. Do you have any evidence that this story is a fabrication and is not just as true as the biblical material, which by secular scholars are also considered legendary? All right, go ahead.
Yeah, switch it out. I don't want you talking over my time.
I'm muted.
Yeah, no, I don't trust you. Switch it out and give me my minute.
Give him his time.
So everybody heard this freaking liar. When did I ever say yes to it being oral Torah? What? So me saying yes to someone having dogma means that it's oral Torah. Wow, what a weirdo. Then he says he wants me to provide evidence that it is, let's say, a pseudepigrapha or not a real story, and etc., right? Okay, fine. I will actually do that, but I need more than a minute to do so. Second of all, you need to establish, are we talking about something physical, a physical document, or are we talking about an oral story? Because I'm actually dealing with something physical. I'm not dealing with something oral. I agree that the story was floating around there, but in order for us to get concrete evidence on whether it's a forgery or a fake, we have to go textual. And I know why you're running away from that. So can we deal with the text now, or are you want to just talk about thin air mysteries and fairy tales that people were talking about? We need to deal with the sources here, bro.
All right, bet. So, Life, is the Talmud the oral Torah, yes or no? Is it oral Torah tradition which was later written down?
Give him his minute. I'm not answering any of his questions.
No, we're not doing this 1 minute. No, answer the question. Answer. No, we're not doing this.
Give him his minute.
No, bro.
Is the Talmud
Answer.
considered oral Torah life?
Give him his minute.
Oh my God, yo, this guy does everything but answer questions. Life, just engage, bro. I'm asking you. Is the Talmud?
I've been
is the
answering.
Talmud-
I've been
is the Talmud
answering
the
your
oral-
question.
Is the Talmud the oral Torah which was later written down?
Give him his minute, please.
Bro, he's letting you speak during his time.
You a question.
Yo, what are we doing? This is, bro. This looks really
He's
bad.
letting you speak during his time.
Restart his time because, bro. Wait.
Dodge.
Look, restart. No, bro, look, I'm gonna restart your time. He can do whatever he wants with this 1 minute. He can ask you questions.
All right, Life. Is the Talmud the oral Torah?
No.
No? All right. So the Jays, the rabbinic Judaism, the Talmud isn't considered the oral Torah. Hello?
Can finish? Go ahead. Use your time. I
Yeah,
answered you.
so in rabbinic Judaism, the Talmud is not considered the oral Torah. Just want to confirm.
Answer your freak. Finish your time. Like, what's wrong with you, dude?
What? You just like, oh my God, bro. What is this guy doing? Yo, can you just engage, Life? You can ask me questions when it's your time as well. Good. Life. What is this, bro? What is this guy doing?
Bro, I guess just wrap up your time and let him respond at this point because the guy. Like, he's panicking. This is
All right,
insane.
perfect. So
I
according
already
to-
answered. I already answered him.
As we know from anyone who's
He
maybe
asked the same question 2 times.
okay, perfect. So somebody that's spent maybe like 2 minutes doing research would know that the Talmud is considered the oral Torah, which was later written down. All right. Secondly, he made a claim. He said that because we don't have written material that predates what's it called, the 1st century, and because we don't know that this can go back to Solomon for certain, then therefore it's necessarily a forgery. It's legendary. Okay, perfect. Now, I want you to apply the same standard. I want you to provide me a Genesis account, which comes from the time of Abraham or Noah. I want you to provide me an Exodus account that comes from the time of Moses. Okay? Because you're saying, just because we don't have a written tradition,
minute
that
is
means
over.
all traditions
Don't
is
interrupt.
over.
Don't interrupt. No, don't interrupt.
Why is
This minute is over.
Why is he interrupting?
Your time is up.
This is actually.
You wasted my
This
time.
guy sounds like he's on
You wasted your
period.
time by asking me the
you
same
wasted- you
question
wasted my
twice. I
time.
answered you already.
All right,
I answered you already. You just got
Sam,
weird
Sam,
about the
can you
answer.
Can you mute him real quick? He's not.
It's not my fault. You couldn't understand the answer.
You guys just manifested. All right.
I answered you. What do you mean?
All right, perfect. Well, can you just mute him up real quick?
It's my. What do you mean? Mute me up. It's my
No,
turn to
no.
speak.
Oh Lord. All right. Go ahead and use your time to answer my question, please. Go ahead.
I already, bro. I'm not even gonna lie. Everybody heard me answer his question. No, he asked it again, and I didn't answer because I already freaking answered him. Now, if he wants to refute me, then do that. But don't ask me the same question 8 times and then say I'm not engaging. I already did. No. The answer to your question is no, because you're trying to bake in this story being some sort of Torah with no evidence. But so prove and provide evidence that this was ever canonical scripture. Do you want to actually talk about scripture? Or you want to talk about something oral? We know why these Muslims want to talk about something non-physical, so they can just make up stuff like what King Dow was doing. Notice I'm trying to drive him to the actual text itself, the actual manuscript where the story is derived. He doesn't want to deal with that. He wants to talk about sayings. I'm dealing with the text, bro. If you're not going to deal with the text, bro, then you lost the debate, bro. It's over with.
All right, perfect. Clearly, this guy is not tracking whatsoever. All right, so Life, regardless of your views on the story, we already concluded that the Jays in antiquity already considered this story to be true dogma. We found it in the oral Torah. We showed you the sources. We showed you from Josephus that it goes back at least to the 1st century. Now, you made the positive claim that because this story, we don't have written material regarding it prior to the 1st century, then therefore, that means that this story is necessarily false, it's a forgery, and it's a legend. Well, that's really stupid because most of the Old Testament has been carried over from oral tradition and later written down later as well. So now if you're consistent, I want you to provide your metric for knowing that the Genesis accounts are historical. Go ahead. Give him his time.
Yeah, so give me my time. We're literally dealing with the Testament of Solomon. That's what the debate is about. We're not going anywhere else. Why are you running from the Testament of Solomon? Is there a physical document that was ever written about the Testament of Solomon that scholars deem and say that this is the origin of this folktale and this is where it came from? Does this predate your foolishness that you're bringing up, just saying that people talked about it? I never had a problem with people talking about it. I never had a problem with people passing down the story. There were people out there that truly believed that what was found in the infancy gospel of Thomas was true. There were people out there that believed the stories that they told about Jesus as a baby, talking and growing up as a kid, unaliving people and creating clay birds. There's people that believe that that was true. That doesn't make it true. So are you saying that because people, some Jews, not all, because you can't make the claim that all, some Jews believe that this story was true, that makes it true? Is that what you're saying, King Dallas? Stay focused. We're not talking about Genesis.
All right, I just want to do like a cross, like sort of back and forth, open dialogue sort of thing, because this is getting stupid. It's 1 minute of waffling each.
You can't do an open dialogue. You're not mature enough, bro.
He's already panicking. All right.
You're not mature enough.
Okay, perfect. I just want to ask you a question, Life. Do stories orally precede the written material at times?
What?
Hello? Do oral stories predate the written material of them sometimes in history?
What are you, dude? Are you slow?
Very straightforward question, by the way.
He's not even answering.
Are you okay?
He doesn't want to answer anything.
This is the IQ pill. It was a very easy question.
Bro, you've been on this app for like years and you're still.
Is this guy okay?
You just answer the question.
That was a good question.
Why are you talking, Iraq?
Because I don't know what's wrong
You're to
with
calm
you.
me down.
Yeah, I am. I don't know why you can't understand.
Exactly. Shut up.
All right.
You ain't here to calm down. You here to heckle, bro. Shut up.
And it's working. Look at you.
Reset his minute.
Bro, just take the time away, bro. We're just doing questions now. I just want him to engage. He's not dealing with anything that I'm saying. Do oral stories...
Because it's a stupid question.
Hold on. Oral stories, particularly those found in the Bible, do they predate the written renditions of them that we have?
What does that even mean?
Brutal.
I don't know how to put it in
Hey,
basic
Hawk,
English.
I told you, bro. Why do you have people up here interjecting?
Bro,
on
shut
our
up, bro. You're just crying, bro. Answer his questions. Damn.
You guys
No, bro, you're actually not,
He's
bro.
so
Just
stuck.
answer
See, this
Nah.
is so stuck. This is the point, because he knows he's going to have to throw...
You
it
have
in.
somebody interjecting on our conversation.
I didn't even hear nothing.
He knows he's
Oh,
gonna
of course you didn't hear nothing because you're a Muslim, bro.
Listen.
If a Christian was talking, you would have heard it.
Bro,
If a Christian was up here, you would have heard it, bro.
Became a secular atheist.
I'm not running. I told him to hold on, King. Hold on, King. I'm not running. I told him to reset his time. I want to engage with it.
Bro, we're not giving time, bro. You said we're not giving time.
It's a very dumb question, but I want him to flush out exactly what he means by it. That's the point. So can you tell Iraq to stop talking because this isn't his conversation?
When you stop crying, yeah.
Hawk, you said these people weren't muted.
When you stop crying, yeah. But you're crying, though. That's the
No,
problem.
Hawk, you said these people weren't going to speak.
This is one of their Salam al-Masih soldiers right here.
Hawk, you said they weren't going to speak, and they are.
Yeah, if you weren't crying, yeah. You see how, like, gay qualification, but you're crying?
You see how dumb you
I'm
are?
trapped.
I know why
You
you don't want to.
You see how y'all are just liars?
I'm stupid, but you couldn't show me your God in your Old Testament, but I'm stupid.
You're an idiot.
You can't show me your God from your scripture, but I'm stupid. But I'm stupid.
Idiot and you're a liar.
Yeah, nice.
Samurai, give me
You're
half
an
a
idiot
second.
and you're a liar.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, but you couldn't find me your God in your
You've
scripture.
been-
Wait, he
Bro, we're
wants
both
to get
on
dropped.
mute, bro.
Yeah,
You're
that's fine.
No, you guys both aren't on mute because you just unmuted to say that, idiot.
Yeah, because you're crying about me about
Because you
being
guys
on
are
mute.
talking. I don't need you guys to talk,
I was
bro.
on mute the whole time, moron.
You guys are the audience, bro. Be the audience, bro.
All right, so Life, you already accept in your paradigm that stories which are carried over orally can predate the written material, yes?
I need you to establish what you mean by that. Detail what you mean. What's the conclusion? Hold on. I'm not done. Dude,
Good.
the reason why I need you to detail what you mean by that is because when I identified that, yes, people did speak of the Testament of Solomon, and that's why we have that information today, you went and said, there it is, a concession that they believe that this was oral Torah. That's why I can't answer yes or no's with you, because you literally jumped to the furthest conclusion in your own brain. So what do you mean by oral stories, and what do you mean by it being documented in scripture after? What do you mean by
Okay,
that?
I'm gonna make it exceedingly clear. All right. So, for example, we have the narrative of the creation story. We have the narrative, for example, Abraham. We have the Exodus narrative with Moses. and the Egyptians and the Israelites, right? Now, this story, we don't have any manuscripts. We don't have any manuscripts that date back to the time of these events. For example, we don't have any real significant material pre-Babylonian exile, which talks about the stories, or even dates remotely close to when these stories were written later. Okay, or sorry, what they're conveying. Okay. So I just want you to be consistent, right? Because you're saying that this story is necessarily a forgery because we don't have written material that goes back to Solomon. So by that logic, is the Old Testament, is all of it under the bus, is all of it thrown into the garbage because you don't have written material that goes back to the claim made? Yes or no?
That was a completely different question.
You asked me to expound. You asked me to flesh out what I was asking.
Then you asked a different question.
It's the same question.
Okay, so to answer your detailed breakdown, obviously not.
Okay, all right, perfect. So you wouldn't throw your Old Testament under the bus. You would claim that what's found within the Old Testament is historical, despite the fact that you don't have written material that goes back to these prophets, right?
Yeah, for sure. We all have that in our religion.
Okay. I got you. Okay, so now what is your evidence that this oral Torah, this Talmudic tradition, is a forgery with that standard? Go ahead.
I'm saying, see what I'm saying, bro? You haven't proved that this story, this narrative of Solomon is oral Torah. You haven't proved that. So stop saying that. Because then when I respond to you, stop, bro. Stop. Because then when I respond to you, you're too slow to understand that you're baking in your presupposition into the conversation. Therefore, you need to identify that this is oral Torah. If not, then you have to prove that it is oral Torah. If not, you can't keep baking that into the conversation because you haven't proven that. Second of all, I've given you way more evidence to prove that it is an actual legend. So when it's my time to cross-examine you, I would like for you to establish what in the world we're talking about. Why do you only want to deal with something oral and not scripture? Answer that. You still haven't answered that. You're running away.
Okay. All right, perfect. Now, I'm just going to pull up I don't know, this is very basic knowledge. I'm just going to pull up a source that tells you that the Talmud is the oral Torah. So, I don't know why you would, reject this very basic common knowledge. All right, so just give me 1 second. Yeah, now let's read it. If the Bible is the cornerstone of Judaism, then the Talmud is the central pillar, soaring up from the foundations and supporting the entire spiritual and intellectual edifice. In many ways, the Talmud is the most important book in Jewish culture, the backbone of creativity and national life. No other work had a comparable influence on the theory, and this is Rabbi Aiden Steinsaltz. Shaping
talking to a Jew?
Can you just
Brother, let him talk, bro.
What's wrong with this guy, bro?
I'll let him talk.
The Talmud, listen, brother. The Talmud is the repository of thousands of years of Jewish wisdom and the oral law, which is as ancient and significant as the written law. All right. So we find this story within the Talmud. Is this story considered oral Torah? Yes or no?
No, it's not.
This guy's an idiot, bro. This guy's
okay, cool. Got you.
This guy just lying now.
Got you. So King Dow, are you done? Are you done talking now? Like, what the? Y'all are so weird, dude. Ibn Ali literally unmuted and said, "Hey, Life, do you want to speak? Because I don't want you to complain
Dude, you're
about
so
how
obnoxious. Just talk.
Yo, Anas, how are you gonna have a formal debate with this guy when he can't even hold a conversation?
I don't know. Like, seriously.
Look at this. Hey, I'm laughing, man.
Do you hear yourself? Like the tone difference between us and you?
Y'all got it, bro.
You need to calm down.
This is embarrassing, bro. This is embarrassing.
I agree.
Ibn Anas, if you can mute up and let me speak. If I can speak, do you guys want me to speak, or you want to just sit here and y'all say whatever y'all want, and then when I leave, y'all can just beat y'all chest like y'all won? Is that's what y'all like to do, huh?
You keep mentioning us winning. Like, I don't know why that bothers you so much.
That's I get it.
Why is he panicking?
Y'all like to subjugate people. Stop them from speaking, and then claim victory and say, "See, they ain't got no argument." You see how slow that is?
You're always mentioning us with victory.
So let me speak.
I'll give you permission.
All right.
Let me speak. You see,
we give you permission. Go ahead.
You see how weird he is? That's what he wanted. Look at this.
You just answered a question, bro.
Ibn Ali. No, I'm not answering no questions yet.
Bro, you're
responding
meat
to what
riding.
Ibn Ali
Let
said.
my name go. Damn.
Hold on.
Ibn
No,
Ali.
I'm not
Ibn
gonna let
Ali. You're
that
meat
go.
riding. Damn.
I'm gonna say this and then I'm gonna respond. Notice how Ibn Ali asked me if I could speak based on what the other guys were saying about me. As soon as I said yes, what happened? Did I ever get the chance to do that? No. They overtalked me, gave King Dao the floor. Samurai Hawk, the biased moderator, is being weird. And now I'm forced. Hold on. And now I'm
He
forced
sounds
to
like a woman. Oh my god.
and now
dude.
I'm forced to just ignore it. And look at this.
Dude,
So
let me get you
Muslims
some
should be
tissue,
able
bro.
to do. Look at this though. You guys are getting called out for what you're doing, and you're complaining
Dude,
about
shut
it.
up.
Oh, stop complaining. So just allow y'all to do whatever y'all want. Be biased and be weird. That's what y'all want to do, huh?
Can I get you some tissue?
You have, like,
Enough,
substance.
dude. Like,
Just no
you're grown.
substance.
Can you just respond to the quotation?
You're
All right, so give me
grown.
my. All right, so give me my minute. Give me
No,
my
that was your minute. No, that was your minute. You're
You
just
see how
having your own
you see
minute.
how weird you are, bro?
Bro, you were just having your own minute. That's your fault. It's not
see
mine.
how weird you are?
You
You get like a minute, bro. You get like 30 seconds. You have 30 seconds. Go ahead.
For people say,
I don't got 30 seconds. I got a minute.
You got 30
Just let
seconds.
him speak, but like this guy just yaps. Oh my god.
All right, look, let me ask you this. King Dawa, King Dawa, when you go into the Talmud and you find stories about rabbis, is that oral Torah?
yep.
This guy's slow, bro.
A story about a rabbi is oral Torah.
By the way, here's the primary source, guys. The
You know,
quote
King
comes from
Dawa,
The Essential Talmud.
King Dawa,
by
King Dawa.
Aiden,
is-
even Israel Steinsaltz.
King Dawa is every single thing found within a Talmud oral Torah?
Relating to the prophets, yeah.
Oh my gosh. So it are stories about rabbis and historical figures and interpretations of specific verses. Is that oral Torah?
Yeah, it'd still be considered oral Torah.
Oh my, bro, this dude is slow. This dude is a bot. This dude is a bot.
Is this guy okay? Can you deal with this? Can you deal with the quote that I just brought you from a rabbi?
Oh my goodness, bro. You are absolutely slow. This is crazy.
Wow.
That's
What a great
my
reduction.
minute.
What
That's
a
my
great-
minute.
what a great
I just took.
wow,
I
man,
just
what a
took.
great response.
I just took my minute to cook them. So go ahead.
That was a good reduction.
All right, so
Yeah, because that was a dumb statement he
all
made.
right, all
It's
right,
not-
so Lion, I just gave you a rabbi and I gave you academia. So
But
can you
that's
just
not
respond-
oral Torah. A story about a rabbi isn't oral Torah, dummy.
Can you just okay, perfect. Can you just respond to? Can you just respond to the Evan sub, bro?
I just did by telling you that everything in the Talmud, everything in the Talmud is not oral Torah, bro.
All right, perfect. And these stories, as we read, all right, perfect. And these stories, agradaic stories, which are passed down traditions from the prophets, are considered oral Torah?
No.
No, so they don't take wisdoms and they don't apply rulings from these stories.
What do you think oral Torah is? Let me explain.
Is this guy, you realize the oral Torah is more than strict commandments, right?
I'm asking you, what do you think it is? What is it?
I'm telling you, the oral Torah is a combination of metaphors, allegories, and stories which you reduce rulings and ethics from. So that's why it can be considered oral Torah. So that's the point. And life, you're not dealing with anything that I'm saying. You're just doing nervous laughs and panicking
Watch this.
and complaining about
Does
people
the
speaking.
watch this?
So can you just
does
deal
the
with
oral
things
Torah?
that-
Wait. Does the oral? Oh, are you done? Is your time over?
Good.
Okay, so give me my minute and stop talking over me.
I didn't speak over you, bro. What,
You were just speaking over me. Give me my minute.
All this guy does is cry, bro. What are we
Mute
doing?
up, little boy. Wait, can the
asking
oral
random-
Torah?
he's
Can the
asking
oral?
random shit.
Wait, can the oral Torah contradict the physical Torah?
Brother, are you asking me on my personal view or are you asking me on their paradigm?
Based on whatever you think the oral Torah is, can it?
According to their paradigm, there are no contradictions, so they can't contradict.
Oh, okay. So the oral Torah and the physical Torah can't contradict. All right, cool. So does the physical Torah claim that Solomon was dabbling with demonology?
The physical Torah, well, not directly. It talks about him building temples. Magic would have been carried out.
Interesting.
Wait,
Does the physical
hold on.
Stop. Hold on. It's not your time, dude. Be quiet.
Wait. You think that's a contradiction?
No, it is. It's time. Your time's out.
Hold on. Just because it doesn't mention...
Hey, Hawk, you a weirdo, bro. I'm
Look at your time.
Wait, hold on.
Look at your time.
So just because it doesn't
What do
mention...
you mean? He stopped me from asking my last question.
Wait, hold on.
Well, your time is over, so.
Just
Yeah,
because
you're an idiot, bro. You know
Hold on,
you're
Yeah, shut your ass
because
up.
it doesn't mention a story which is found.
Oh, he ran.
Oh my God! This guy doesn't know what a contradiction is. What the hell?
Oh, wait.
Yo,
This guy's. Oh, wait. I'm
that's
not gonna lie.
crazy. Yo,
I've
Apex,
been on
yo,
mute.
Apex, you see that? This guy doesn't know what a...
It should have dropped many.
Let's talk. What is this? The Jew?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yo, what's up?
Yo, Yahushua,
What's
you
up?
agree Talmud is the old Torah, right?
Yes, sir, it is.
Oh,
It
and live
consists of the
field, no,
Gemara.
what you're
Yep.
talking about, right?
Dude, real quick, good job debating. I have no idea what he was talking about. He was like, so the bunch of rabbis talking, that's also oral tradition. They're discussing the oral tradition. They're discussing the oral Torah. I have no idea what he's talking about, bro. He's just goofing off. I don't get
I
it.
told you, bro. I told you. And Yahushua,
What's up?
these academic stories, right? Like, despite the historical, like, view, I know, like, there's different approaches regarding this, but they do derive, like, wisdoms and teachings from the stories, right?
Yes, we have an entire section called the Midrash, which literally talks about this. The Talmud heavily relies on the Midrash, which is the Agadic teachings. We also derive halakha from it as well. I have no idea what he's talking about, bro.
So you can call Agada even oral Torah because of the wisdoms you get from it, right?
Exactly. We call that the Midrash. That's an entire section of it. That's called the Midrash. It is a 17-volume series of it. That you're correct, yes.
Hey, the W, man. Hey, I appreciate you, man. Appreciate it.
Of course, good debate.
I told y'all, man.
Elohim, man.
I told y'all, man.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.